your way. 8 a.m. now in the day.
All right, time to win the day. It's 8:33 here on Richmond's Morning News, News Radio WRVA. My name is the aforementioned Rich Herrera. It's a treat on Tuesdays. We are joined by former member of the House of Representatives in D.C., now a member of the House of Delegates. Tom Garrett joins us to give us what's going on in Capitol Square, who's, what's going on, and he joins us here on News Radio WRVA. Good morning, my friend.
I will take the demotion. It's the bigs work that they didn't suit me. I'm happy here at AAA.
Yeah.
You can't, Rich. This is something. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. We could start with Reggie or the budget, or we could just sort of go freestyle.
I want to do Reggie and the budget because I did my best to explain what Reggie is, because people don't see this coming. July 1st, our power bill across the Commonwealth is going to climb by 6 to 7% for cap and trade, telling Dominion Energy, please don't make as much electricity for us. And if you do, for the consumption of the customers, they're going to have to pay dollar for dollar. 1 point whatever billion dollars goes into this Ponzi scheme almost.
Well, yeah, but let's keep in mind that there's a reason that Ponzi schemes exist, right? And so why do Ponzi schemes exist? They exist to make someone money. So cap and trade is the easiest way to start to explain Reggie to people who were paying attention when we started hearing about cap and trade. What they do is they create a commodity, these carbon credits.
Out of thin air.
Literally. That they allow people to trade in that commodity only in bulk, meaning only rich people can trade in the commodity. The commodity market is monetized when you pay your power bill. So they take a slice off the top of your power bill and they put it into a bucket. And then people like Bill Gates and Tom Steyer and the California state retirement system and the Virginia state retirement system, et cetera, can invest in these carbon credit trading schemes. And I use the word scheme intentionally. And they make lots of money by, wait for it, buying low and selling high, right? And
so wait a minute. So hold on a second. So if I'm Bill Gates, I go in and I buy these carbon credits because they're out for auction. I buy them from Reggie, and now I hold on to them. And then what happens next?
When there's a higher demand for electricity, right? Because we do tend to like it when the lights come on when we flip the switch, or the heater or air conditioner either heats or air conditions.
Right.
If there's a higher demand, then the credits are going to trade at a higher rate, so they can then sell them as an offset for the increased emissions produced by the producers. Now, we've so thoroughly indoctrinated our children and literally scared the hell out of them. Rich, you do not have to look hard to find the video of Senator Bernie Sanders on the stage of the 2020 presidential debate saying, and I quote, "If you don't elect me, if we don't do something, the world will be over within 6 years." Now, I looked at the calendar this morning. It's 6 years, and in the words of REM, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. So they've scared the hell out of people. They've convinced people that paying a higher electricity bill is worth it because we're going to save the planet. There's not a scintilla of difference based on what we're doing. 8.45 million Virginians make up something like 1,000th of the world population of 8.5 billion. Our emission reduction as a result of cap and trade is negligible. Essentially, you just pay more because you don't want your house to be blazing hot.
So
meanwhile, the guys
they care
the most.
I got to call time out here. I got to call time out here because now this is really hitting me. So we created Reggie. They create
the market, working people.
So they create this commodity. They sell this commodity to Bill Gates, California Teachers Association, Tom Steyer. They hold on to these. When it gets hot and the demand for energy comes up in Virginia because of the heat and humidity during the middle of summer, and Dominion has to produce more electricity, and they're already past where they've been capped arbitrarily by Reggie. Now they have to buy those commodities from the Tom Steyers, the Virginia Teachers Union, the California Teachers Union, Bill Gates, and they can charge them whatever they need because Dominion has to have these because of Reggie.
Well, they would say, oh, they can't charge whatever they need. There's a set marketplace with guidelines, but they can charge a lot more when demand increases. And again,
there's a marginal profit to be made off of the suffering in the middle of summer of the people of Virginia.
Correct. But they foisted it upon us by telling us that we have to do it or else we're all going to die. And when you drive past the Prius with the coexist bumper sticker and the green and blue planet Earth that says love your mother, those people have voted into power folks who have said you need to pay more to save the planet. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be self-aware. 8.5 million Virginians, 8.5 billion people on Earth. What we do in Virginia is not a drop in the bucket. But you know what? When your energy bill goes from $93 to $100 next month, and I saw a post on the internet where one of my colleagues said, look at this, they're raising your power bill. And I presume a Democrat or Marxist or whatever they're calling themselves these days responded and said, you always blame the Democrats. You never have any solutions. And I responded, don't re-enter Reggie. There's a solution. It's that simple.
Okay. So just so we know, whatever Dominion has to pay over the top, they don't eat that. That by law gets passed on to the users of Dominion Energy. Their customers have to pay.
Look, so Dominion exists to make at least one more dollar than they lose. It's a corporate entity because we've learned through years of experience that when the government runs things, it wastes even more money than when you've created an incentive by creating a profit margin. So Dominion seeks to make money. Now, the brilliance of the Democrats' dishonest scheme is, what does your power bill say? Does it say brought to you by Virginia Democrats? No, it says Dominion on the top. So they'll do policy. The Virginia Clean Economy Act is probably more impactful than Reggie. There's a calculator if you go to House GOP, Virginia House GOP, where you can calculate your energy bill, and then you can take out the things the Democrats have done to it and see what it would be. Spoiler alert, you're paying about 25% more simply because of policy. But our response is to blame Dominion or APCO or your rural electric co-op and not the government policies inside of which these electric producing entities must work. And they know this, right? They'll vilify these producer entities because what does your power bill say at the top?
Dominion.
Right?
So this is no different than California having gas prices $2 higher than Arizona and Nevada right next to them, and that $2 is directly correlated to California tax policies.
No different at all. And again, they're telling you that they're saving the planet, but taken and in the macro, we're doing exactly nothing to save the planet. What we're doing is destroying Virginia families, destroying Virginia jobs, and destroying opportunity. I'll do you one better. We'll go afield a bit.
Okay.
Kyoto and Paris Accords, Trump
pulled us
out of them. And the left's hair's on fire. Why? Because we got to reduce carbon emissions. Well, neither Kyoto nor Paris reduced carbon emissions one bit.
No.
In fact, they allowed for the increasing of carbon emissions in the quote-unquote developing world, which, shocker, includes China, while reducing dramatically carbon emissions in the developed world. Since we live under one environment, one atmosphere, it's not a zero-sum game. We're increasing carbon emissions, but we're decreasing productivity, opportunity, freedom, and prosperity where we live.
Okay.
And I'm just not that much of a collectivist. I represent my district and my people and our interests, and I want us to be free and us to have opportunity and us to prosper. It's all redistributionist. It's all Marxism.
There are times where I feel like I'm screaming into the clouds when I say don't CA my VA, and people look at me like, shut up, Herrera, that's not happening over here. This is a perfect example of a California crazy, kooky idea that's come to the Commonwealth, folks. Just like in Richmond, they charge you for your plastic grocery bags. This is the same thing. I told you, I said the other day, Tom, when I was hanging out over at the General Assembly, I heard people starting to speak up like, hey, maybe we should have a jungle primary like they have in California over here. Don't CA my VA. These crazy West Coast leftist ideas are heading to Virginia, but on breakneck speed. I do want to ask you, though, because a listener did point out, hey, what happens to all the data centers that we're fighting over how to power them? How much do they get stuck with Reggie?
Well, they're buying electricity, right? Now, they negotiate, or they have the ability to conceivably negotiate different rates, but they're buying electricity, so they get stuck with Reggie. The data center argument's a whole other discussion. ultimately, this too is sort of the global war for dominance. The Marxists in China are hand in hand with the global elites, the 1% that the left seems to want to fight against until it comes time to make an endorsement for California governor. They endorse Tom Steyer, a billionaire.
Right.
And it's all about consolidating control over the lives of others. And so your data center fight really is about the next generation of global leadership. We didn't have NASA to get a guy on the moon. It was pretty cool that we did. That was a program to develop technology to be used on intercontinental ballistic missiles. And the data center fight is not a fight to see who can do the best AI, image. It's a fight to see who is the globally dominant force, because the people who control the data will be able to knock the drone swarm built in China, powered by Chinese lithium batteries, out of the sky with the stroke of a key. So this is all a national security and future of the world dominance sort of scenario. And the American left has no idea in most instances that they've been lied to in order to cause us to, I think I'm paraphrasing Khrushchev here, sell them the rope that we use to hang ourselves. Wow. Right? I mean, this is nuts, but it's not hard. And everything I'm saying is demonstrably true. So I'm all about stewardship, right? But private property owners are the first people to take care of the property. And so that's kind of where we need to get to.
And I'm delving as much as I can into these data centers. I was listening to Doug Bergram the other day, and he said the exact same thing, that this is about the next industrial revolution. And if we get rid of all the data centers, we pull back out of this because of all these things we've been told. China's not going to stop. Russia's not going to stop. Other countries aren't going to stop. We'll find ourselves actually pulling back while everybody else is pushing forward. And you look 20 years from now, where will that leave the United States? That's a great point right there. Everything else going good in your life?
Man, if I got any better, I'd pop, and then there'd be a giant pile of goo and blood and ooze. It'd be terrible. So, yeah, I'm great. God is so amazing. So grateful to have finally slowed down and let him catch up to me. And have friends like you, Rich Herrera. Although, guys, off air, Dave really is the brains of the operation. You don't know that Dave is pulling Rich's strings. But
oh,
Dave
no, 100%. Rich Herrera, great smile and a great head of hair, and that's about it.
I got a great smile, depending upon who you ask. I am out in the head of hair category. You win.
There you go. By the way, when are you coming back in? When are we getting back together at the General Assembly?
We don't know yet. They talked about the 19th. They talked about the 22nd. Now they're talking about the 29th and the 30th. And people are like, my legislator. But if you have a Republican representing you, tragically, we have just a little bit better seats than you do. To the Lions eating the Christians. We're not in the show. But the funny thing is, the Democrats are both the Lions and the Christians. I've never seen a party form a more perfect circular firing squad than Don Scott, Louise Lucas, and Governor Spanberger. These guys are good at
the data center diva.
Yeah, Amazon Don.
Amazon Don, Dave. It is amazing. All right. Thank you so much. I'll check in with you next week. And when they do come back into session, I will be sitting in the gallery. They don't let me bring popcorn, but I will be sitting in the gallery watching whatever tomfoolery happens inside the General Assembly.
Oh, you might be watching without me there, because they were supposed to be done in March. So if I've got a vacation that's been planned for 8 months because they can't do their jobs, rest assured I would have voted no. I mean, there's nothing. It's 64-36. I mean, these guys got all the cards.
Well, there you go. All right. Hey, thank you so much. I'll check in with you next week.
God bless, Rich.
God bless you too. Tom Garrett, member of the House of Delegates, giving us the insight of what's going on. Amazon Dawn and the data center diva. Wow, that's amazing. Like he said, it's a perfect circular firing squad. You've got Democrats all around, and they still can't get a budget done. And now they're just fighting over where they're going to take that money, either from the data centers and crash one of the leading industries we have in the Commonwealth, or they're going to take it out of your electric bill. You take you choose how you want that pill to go down. All right, let me remind everybody, today's program brought to you in part by Pearson Signature Dealerships, where they double the engine and transmission warranty on every new car. Boom, that's it. We just sit here the rest of the time and look at each other. There is no negotiation. They don't sit there and go, well, if you do this, or we get you to this many months on your lease, or we do that. No, you buy a new car from them. They double the engine and transmission warranty. Why do they do that? They don't have to. It's just their way of showing you before, during, and after the sale, we're right here for you. You're not going to buy a car from us, and then when you show up a month later, like, who are you? What are you? No. They're committed to their customers, that relationship. That's why they've been around for 50 years. That's why they'll be around for another 50 years, because they go above and beyond for their customers. They're the people they have relationships with. That's why they start with that Pearson promise. Find out more. See their entire selection of new, previously owned vehicles, and find out about that Pearson promise at buypearson.com. That's buypearson.com.
Before America became a nation, it was an idea. And that idea was born in Virginia. In 2026, the Virginia American Revolution 250